Why are individual planetary periods the most important predictive technique in astrology? Now, if you are coming from the background of tropical astrology exclusively, you are going to have to open your mind a little bit. I personally practice tropical dates together with old Vedic Indian calculation techniques. It's going to give you a whole other level of depth when it comes to actually being able to understand the reason why you even got into astrology, which is finding out about the reason why you were even born on this planet. You're gonna have to excuse my overly excited dog. The reason why these techniques are so important is because they are perfectly individualized, and they are and they are made precisely based on the exact second of your birth. That means that your whole life unfolds kind of like a fan dance, calculated precisely down to the minute if you know your correct birth time, compared to something like transits or any other of the Western prediction techniques. It gives you a unique edge to be able to understand your life unfolding in perfect harmony, and it gives you an opportunity to understand the meaning behind every part of the cycle that you're participating in, or that is a part of your life, for better or for worse. To those of you who are completely new to Vedic Indian techniques, I'm going to put in the name of the software. It's Windows software, sadly, for Mac users, but I'm sure that if you at least you have a friend that can help you use that, and all you need is a screenshot, look at your chart, and look at the dates. This computer software is what will allow you to look at the precise dates of when these changes are going to occur for you specifically. So why is it so important? Because Vedic astrology, Hindu astrology, Indian astrology has what the Western school of thought has long lost since the inception of this idea around 2,000 years ago. It has the understanding that the events that occur in our lives are all based on patterns, and these patterns are not accidental, and they are part of a cycle of learning that our soul is trying to complete by incarnating. And these cycles occur in a particular order for a reason, because you can't skip classes spiritually. You have to learn certain things to be able to understand the things after them. It's kind of like 4 seasons, you know, summer comes after spring, not the other way around, and that's for a reason. Seasons have their own unique harmonious way of unfolding, and our life is part of that because our human bodies are part of nature. You might think, in the context of what I just told you, what about transits? Think about physical life. Transits are more like the weather that occurs outside of your home. So a rainy day can mess up some of your plans and may delay some events, and the weather conditions, yes, they impact our mood, our bodies and minds, that's true. We definitely have a reciprocal relationship with them, but in the same town, on the same day, during the same weather phenomenon, thousands, even millions, if you're in a big town, of people respond to the same external event differently. And that's the difference between our predetermined tendencies that our chart carries and our individual clock that we are on, which is called the dasha period, and the weather forecast that has an influence on us. Our life is a mix of both, and honestly, the individual perception that we have of these external events is going to matter much more in the long run when it comes to what results it gives in our charts. Because think about it, one person is not going to even poke their nose out of the house, even if there's like a slightest cloud in the sky, or if there's something they don't like about the weather. Some people are going to brave it every day, and they're going to walk in high heat or in rainy weather, and they're just going to embrace it and say carpe diem, right? And that individual predisposition to how you're going to meet the external circumstance is ultimately what's going to decide about your life and where it's going to take you, and how you may be responding to these external events is again determined by your individual clock. Because you may have a time of your life when you're more energetic, more extroverted, and you feel more ready to withstand and meet the external chaos and opposition. And there may be a time when you just feel like you don't have the energy to do it, thus being more introverted and more prone to sensitivity or giving up based on external harder weather forecast or harder transits. It all depends on what phase of your life are you in. So what is the key point? The key point is to understand the concept of lunar mansions or nakshatras, and to understand what planet is the ruler of your lunar mansion, because that is what so-called starts the clock. For example, my moon's lunar mansion is ruled by Jupiter, and so my life started with the Jupiter period. But because my lunar mansion is in its very late degrees, my Saturn period actually started when I was still an infant. So my formative years in life have been completely determined by being raised in the Saturn period. And now I'm still progressing through my next period of Saturn, which is my Mercury period. So understanding this progression of events, understanding where you came from and where you're going towards, shows you what energies are you magnetized with at birth and what the cycle are you going to go through. Planetary cycles always last an equal amount of years, and which means that you only have a given amount of time to experience certain cycles. So let's say I was born in late Jupiter period, and then I have a Saturn period, now in my Mercury period, then I'm going to be in my South Node period and my Venus period. Maybe if I'm lucky to live long enough, the Sun period. You will simply not experience certain planetary periods in this lifetime, because there's only so much time that a human life has. And that information is absolutely vital for you to understand which part of the zodiac wheel you are mastering and which phase of your life you are currently operating in, and towards what purpose you're operating within that phase and what you're looking for. And that information is both simple yet profound at the same time, because it stops you from looking for all these overly complicated techniques that at the end of the day don't bring you any personal insight or any real understanding of why you're going through what you're going through. I hope that clears some things up for you. Have a nice day.